Hey, I'm Siobhan, community cultivator and founder of BeFree Project. The BeFree Project podcast was created for community, sisterhood, and personal growth. Each week, you'll be inspired and motivated to do the work to show up for yourself so you too can feel fulfilled and be free. Now grab a pen and a notebook and let's get into the show. The best decision that you can make today is joining the BeFree Inner Circle at BeFreeInnerCircle.com, a community for like-minded women to find their forever friends and get accountability to do their personal growth work. Your membership includes a private, exclusive community of women who are not only showing up for themselves, but for one another. Weekly live events with me and or guest speakers, daily accountability so this way you can finally get stuff done, mentorship from yours truly, and so much more. Now, there's no long-term commitment and you can cancel at any time. However, I can guarantee the moment you join, you're going to feel a warm embrace and you're going to want to stick around. Every single member of the BeFree Inner Circle will walk away with clarity, fulfillment, and confidence because guess what? When you're around me, you're going to win. So come and grow inside the BeFree Inner Circle at BeFreeInnerCircle.com. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the BeFree Project podcast. As always, I am so happy that you are here again for another week. Okay, so what I'm loving this week is the HBO series And Just Like That, which is the next chapter of Sex and the City. Y'all, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole series, episode 1 through 10. And what I loved most about it is the focus on friendship within their friendship group of Miranda, Charlotte, and Carrie, but then also the friendships that they were making outside of the group. And I loved how they brought in beautiful women of color so that there's more diversity, so much conversation to be had. I know me and my friends have been having a lot of conversations about the show, and it's just been so good. And it inspired me to go back and watch Sex and the City. So I watched season 1 through season 6 because I had never seen every single episode of Sex and the City. I had watched episodes here and there, but to watch it from beginning to end as I was watching And Just Like That had me in all the feels. Then I went on to watch the Sex and the City movie, which I loved the first movie, but the second one, not so much. But I'm still rewatching it again. And I just love the show. And so my fingers are crossed that they're going to come out with a season 2 because it really was so good and so many beautiful conversations that I've been having, like I said, with my friends about the show. So I highly recommend, if you haven't watched it yet, to go check out And Just Like That. And if you're feeling up to it, watch all the episodes of Sex and the City, and you can find them all on HBO Max. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. And today's episode is inspired by a member inside the BeFree Inner Circle, Shauna. And we were having a conversation about friendship, and she posed a question. She says, I'm curious, do you have a breakup conversation or do you just let it fade? And I was telling her, I said, you know what? That is a great conversation that I want to do a podcast episode on because I know so many women who could find value from this conversation. So I shared a little bit with her inside the community, but I wanted to do a whole podcast episode on it. And actually, this is going to be a 2-part series. So today we're going to talk about like how to identify when you know a friendship is coming to an end. And then next week, I'm going to share with you how to end a friendship from a place of love. So make sure you come back next week and listen because you're going to find so much insight from both episodes as it relates to friendship, especially if you are in a place where you feel like the friendship is coming to an end, but you're not sure and then you don't know what to do next. So this is definitely the episode for you. So I want to start by saying, before I get into like how do you identify if a friendship is over, it is normal to outgrow friendships. Like the way that you used to click in the beginning when you first met, you may not click anymore. And what I have learned is that friendship breakups are actually way more common. However, they're not talked about as often as you hear about romantic breakups. So what I'm learning is that women will typically not talk about their friendship breakups. They'll feel like they're the only one that is going through it. They feel like they should get over it, that it's not that big of a deal. Why are they caring so much? But when you share a friendship with someone, when you share time, when you share intimacy, vulnerability, secrets, you hang out, you do all the things, and then something shifts in the friendship and you know it's about to break up, or, you know, it just doesn't feel the same, that hurts, right? But we don't see, like, there's not a lot of conversation about friendship breakups. And so that's why I talk about it a lot here on the podcast. I talk about it inside the BeFree Inner Circle. I talk about it on Instagram because I want women to know that it is common to go through a friendship breakup. And I want to give tools and resources and support and insight around it so that you don't feel like you're crazy because you are stressing out over the friendship ending. So I know from personal experience what it's like to go through a friendship breakup. And so a lot of what I'm sharing comes from my personal experience, but also doing research on the topic as well, so I can fully give you a well-rounded perspective on this. And just know that the signs are always there. Whether you choose to see the signs that the friendship is ending, they are there. But oftentimes we ignore them because we'll say, oh, that's just how she is, or she'll get better. Pay attention. And I remember I once heard this lady say, notice what you notice, right? So pay attention to what you notice and don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore your intuition. I believe that everyone, yes, every human being craves and yearns for connection. Like, it is human nature that you want people around you that feel good to your nervous system. And so if you have friends in your life that do not feel good for whatever reason, you want to pay attention to that. Y'all hear me rave about my friends all the time because I do have the most amazing friends. And I talk about them so much because I want women to know, specifically Black women and women of color, to know that you can have positive, healthy relationships with other women, and no matter what experiences that you have had, and that you need friends to do life with. Like, you truly need them. All right. So let's get into it. How to know if your friendship is fading or coming to an end. And I should point out that you want to make sure that you have your notebook ready, because I'm about to share all the points and you're probably going to want to write some of these down. So make sure you got your notebook ready. All right. So the first point I want to make is that you don't feel connected the way you once did. Maybe you no longer have things in common. You see the world very differently. The things you used to enjoy doing together isn't something that you care to do anymore. And guess what? That is okay. Like, the things that I used to do in my 20s, how I determined what was fun and what wasn't, like, I have a totally different perspective now, right? And so the things that I used to do that we may have had in common before, I'm not doing those things. Now, that doesn't make me a bad person. It's just I'm on this personal growth journey. I'm doing a lot of inner work to become the best version of myself. And some of the things that were fun in my 20s, maybe my 30s, teenage years, they're just not of interest anymore because I am growing. And so maybe we used to kick it and go to the club together, but now that's not something that I want to do. I would prefer to go to a coffee shop or a bookstore. So that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the friend that loves the club or the friend that wants to go to the bookstore. It's just we don't connect the way that we once did, and that is okay. Next, you're the only one showing up in your friendship. Now listen here, friendships cannot, I repeat, friendships cannot be one-sided. Every person a part of the friendship, whether it's just two of y'all or a group of y'all, everyone has to put in effort. Everyone has to make the friendship a priority. So if you feel like you're the one that's always calling to check in, or you're the one that's always trying to make things work, and they only reach out to you when they need something or they have drama in their life, these are signs that you want to pay attention to, because a friendship should be mutual. There's a give in the friendship, right? And if you notice that your friends are only coming to you when they want or need something, notice what you notice, okay? The next one, you can no longer trust them. What's shared between friends should be between the two of you. So if the trust has been broken and you feel betrayed, you feel hurt, honor your feelings because they are valid. When you're in friendship with someone, that means you can trust them. They won't betray you. They won't hurt you. But if you are seeing this happen again and again and again, pay attention to that, and how you feel is valid, okay? The next one, they are negative and they are pessimistic. Listen, if your friend is constantly being negative and not trying to change, and the key thing there is not trying to change, because we all have moments when we're not feeling our best, but if they are negative and they're pessimistic and they are not making any effort to be better, their negative energy will drain you no matter how optimistic that you are. All right? Not to say that your friend can't go through anything, because we all do. But if their overall disposition is negative and they tend to be pessimistic, all they do is gossip, woe is me, and they're not trying to make any changes, positive changes in their life, that energy will not be good for you as you're doing your inner work. So no matter how optimistic you are and have this positive vibe and positive energy, if the friend that you're spending the most time with is she's negative and just always speaking bad about life and just negative, you will begin to, your energy will be drained because of her. Next, y'all don't have anything to talk about, so you find yourself ignoring their calls and or their texts, okay? And then when you do talk or you do text, the conversations feel awkward. There's this weird silence. Maybe the conversation feels forced. You don't seem to mind if y'all don't talk because you don't miss them. Or you're not updating them on your life and they're not really updating you on theirs either. So that goes back to when I was saying it has to be a mutual thing. So if you pick up your phone and you notice that they're calling you and you're always ignoring it, or you're not responding to their texts, or you wait days to respond to their texts because you really don't want to be bothered, check in with yourself and say, well, why am I responding like this with this particular friend? But yet you have another friend that every time they text you, you can't wait to talk to them, or when they call or want to hang out, you always want to be there around them because the energy, right? Their energy is different. So just pay attention that if you're always ignoring this particular friend, why are you doing that? Possibly you don't want to be friends anymore with them, right? Next, you feel worse after talking to them instead of feeling better. And this happens a lot when friends feel like they're being judged or criticized about everything that they do. They may compare their life to yours, make fun of you, point out your flaws and your faults. None of that, and I mean none of that, is okay, right? Your friends are, when you're spending time with your friends, you should feel good being around them. You should not feel worse after talking to them like, oh, I wish I never picked up the phone when they called. No, that's not okay, all right? Next, you don't feel emotionally safe in the friendship. So there's no space for you to be vulnerable and share your dreams and goals, because oftentimes you feel like, again, they're judging you or they're criticizing you, and they don't truly listen to you and they don't respect your boundaries. I have learned over, I don't know the time period, so I'm not going to put a date on it, but what's really, really important to me is vulnerability in a friendship, and I have to feel emotionally safe. Y'all know this is my year of transformation, and y'all, I am transforming, okay? And I have to be emotionally safe in my friendships to be able to share what I'm experiencing, and knowing that I can be vulnerable and expose a part of myself, and I not feel like when I get off the phone with you, I regret sharing. No, there has to be emotional safety for both parties involved, right? Where I can be transparent, I can be vulnerable, I can share my deepest pains, and I can share my goals and my dreams and what I'm trying to accomplish. And all of that is a safe space to land with my friend. But if they don't respect your boundaries, they don't listen to you, they don't have patience for you, again, you want to check in and say, is this the type of friend that I want in my life? Next, you no longer want to hang out with one another. Yes, we're in a pandemic, and yes, we have to practice social distancing, but yet there are still ways that you can connect. And if you're choosing not to reach out and not to connect because you truly don't want to be around her, pay attention to that, right? My friends, some of them are here in the state that I live in, but many of them are in different states, and we find a way to connect every day, whether we're FaceTiming, sending a text, sending a voice note, emailing, connecting. on social media in addition to the things that I just mentioned. Like, we find a way to connect. And the reason that we do that, you know why? Because we want to be around each other. We want to spend time with each other. And it doesn't matter that we're in different states. We enjoy one another's company. All right. The next one. You only talk on social media, and that is how you're keeping up with one another instead of actually talking on the phone and hanging out in real life. I don't know how that became a thing, but it is a thing where if someone, let's just say your friends see you on social media, they think they know everything about your life, but yet they haven't called to check and see how you're really doing. We all know we can post a certain picture on social media, and even in that moment, we may have some personal things going on. So never make the assumption that everything is okay when you haven't talked to me. So don't let social media be your only way of communication with your friend. If it's a real friend, you guys should be hanging out in real life. You should be talking on the phone, planning girls' trips together, all the thing, and not using social media as your only way to keep up with one another because you don't want to talk to each other on the phone or you don't want to see each other in real life. Next. They aren't happy for you when great things are happening in your life. It doesn't feel like they want you to succeed. In fact, they feel envious and they don't want to celebrate with you when you're winning. That is an issue. We all want our friends to be there for us to celebrate the amazing things, big or small, that's happening in our life. And if you have this friend where every time something good is happening for you, she got to bring up something good happening for her and you can't have your moment, or she'll say little things like, of course that's happening for you, or just little comments that she thinks she's being supportive, but yet she's actually being judgmental and she's being negative. Pay attention to that. Next, you don't feel supported in the friendship and they're not there for you when you need them. Listen, support from your friends is everything. And the support could look like you're going through a difficult time and you just need to talk to them on the phone just to process your feelings. Support could mean that they show up for you when you're finally doing this big thing that you've been waiting to do, right? Support can look different in many different ways, right? But like, you need your friends to support you, whether you're going through some stuff or you're having beautiful, amazing moments in your life. You need the support. Lastly, your friendship is built on conditions. That means that your friend is only around you when they need something from you. And you can feel it. And this may go back to the point that I was making, that they only call you when they need something, because there's conditions in the friendship where they only want to take from you and they don't want to pour into you. So those are all key things that you want to pay attention to as you're thinking through, is this friendship over or not? Healthy friendships require work from both parties. And whether your friend is showing up in a way that doesn't feel good, or maybe I've listed some ways that you are showing up in the friendship. It is important that you do a reality check, that you take ownership and accountability for your actions, and be honest where your friendship is, whether if you're showing up in this way or your friend is showing up in this way. Okay? You do not, I repeat, you do not have to stay in a friendship just because y'all been friends since high school. Again, friends outgrow one another. It is a normal part of life. It is not the end of the world if you realize a friendship is over, right? Sometimes you have to release certain people from your life so you can attract more of the type of friends that you want, all right? The friends that I've had throughout the course of my life, many of them are not in my life today, and that is okay. I accept that there will be friends in my life for a season, and there will be friends in my life for a reason, and there will be friends in my life for a lifetime. And I'm accepting, because it's a process, right? But I'm accepting how to let people go when it's their time to go and not hold on to them, because that's going to prevent me from growing. My closest friends, they mean the world to me. And there's this mutual love that we have for one another. And so because of what I'm experiencing in my friendships, I want every woman to have this. Like, I want your friendships to feel like home. I want it to be this magical experience. Like, oh my gosh, like you want friends that you can be vulnerable with. You want friends in your life that they will listen to you. You can laugh with, you can travel with, you can feel supported by them. Like you genuinely want to be around them and you know that they're not judging you or talking about you behind your back. Like they respect your boundaries and they are emotionally safe. All right. Now, inside the BeFree Inner Circle, I have cultivated a space for women to find their forever friends, friends that they can do life with. And I am honored that I get to witness real friendships happening in real time based on the space that I've created for them to do so. I mean, they are exchanging phone numbers. They are becoming pen pals. They're visiting one another from state to state. They are even becoming accountability partners. Why? Why is this happening? Because I deeply value friendships. And my friends have shown me what it looks like to have the right energy around me. And I want all women to experience great friendships. All right. And when I think about like how supported I am in my own friendships, I feel like every single woman deserves it. I do not understand how you do life without great friends. Right? So make sure you hop on the wait list. So when the doors open for the BeFree Inner Circle, you can become one of the first to join and you can begin to create healthier friendships with women who are doing their personal growth work right alongside with you. So also, if you have not done so yet, make sure you download the friendship audit that I talked about last week. And it's going to help you if you are ready to move on in your friendship and you want to kind of do a little audit and take inventory, download the friendship audit and you will find that inside the show notes. All right. So your journal prompt for this week is, what is the story I am telling myself right now? And your affirmation is, I know that the friend I need at each moment in my life will appear with the perfect timing. My coffee giver of the week is Cecily Jacobs, and she says, thank you for sharing. God is so good. Well, Cecily, thank you so much for treating me to coffee. Y'all already know I'm so grateful. Every single week, so many of you guys are donating, or not donating, but treating me to coffee. And you can do so by clicking the link in the show notes, whether you want to buy me 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, however many you want to buy. That is amazing. One of my favorite coffee shops right now is the Copper Moon in Cleveland. And several times a week, I go and get a London Fog latte, and it is the most amazing thing. And I can thank my listeners for that because you guys are treating me to coffee every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So don't forget to share this episode on Instagram and tag me at Siobhan Sudbury or BeFree Project, and I will make sure that I reshare it. Thank you in advance. I love, love, love to hear from y'all. So leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts with a sentence or two and letting me know what you thought of the episode. This way, more women can see the podcast and we can get more visibility. Share this episode with a friend and say, hey, girl, hey, listen to this and let's talk about it. Afterwards, just send her a text with the link and then be open to have conversation. That's what I love, love, love. I love having conversations and really learning so much. And when I'm listening to something great, like a podcast, or I come across a great article, I love to share it with my friends and we kind of dissect it together, if you will. So I would love for you to do that with this episode. And until next time, girl, be free. And now I want to personally invite you to join the BeFree Inner Circle waitlist. That's right, the doors are currently closed. However, I want you to head over to BeFreeInnerCircle.com, add your name and email address to the list, and when the doors open, you will be the first to know. This will be your last chance to become a member this year. So again, go to BeFreeInnerCircle.com so you don't miss out.